So when I was a kid, I don't know, I found these things in the street and I had this little easel. I feel like I should do a presentation, so I'm going to do one because my friend's kid asked me a question about just characters I have. When I was young and my two brothers were finally off to college, and for the first time I had, my pop and my mom all to myself. We went to have Indian food in Greenwich Village at a little place called The Taste of India. Just the three of us, right? And there, I said, we got rid of those two bastards. Now, I could use a little Paris fix. I wouldn't mind going to Paris, France, home of the Eiffel Tower. Anyway, the next day, my mom's friend said, hey, any chance you'd want to swap houses with the minister at the American Cathedral on the Avenue Georges V in Paris? Because he's got to teach at Columbia for a month and is looking for a place with a pool outside the city. And I thought of you guys. So, long story short, we got to live in the American Cathedral on the Avenue Georges V in Paris for a month. During this time, there was a student at Yale who was studying Bach and playing it precisely at 9 in the morning. There would be a Bach organ solo to wake you up. I mean, this and Nutella are good things. During this time, I was a precocious son of a bitch, and I started writing a novel called, what was it called? To Walk a Circle. Okay, and for some reason I felt that my novel needed a graphic to explain it, or it started with a graphic, it was an image, and the image was a circle that was bisected by a line. And the line was, of course, infinite and only denoting 2 points. The 2 points were two characters. Eventually you'd have an X because there would be other characters, and these were all intersecting points, right? So you had Phil, and at first it was Niz. Niz was a French punk that I actually was seeing in Paris all the time. When I was in Paris, this guy was always like red leathers with a mohawk. He was very theatrically cool. And he felt like a ghost or a doppelganger in Paris. But in a second draft, he became a friend, Pat. And they were both in Americans. Pat being a kind of druggy, layabout, and Phil being a kid who's working a job and wants to be an artist and wants to go to, I think he wanted to go to RISD or something, since I wanted to go to Brown. He wanted to go to RISD. So that's the sort of conflict between them. Then Phil meets Catherine. Catherine is an American who is living in the embassy because her father is a diplomat of some sort. I don't think he's the American ambassador, but maybe he is. I guess I've known a few. So yeah, maybe he's the ambassador. Anyway, the thing about this, he asked me, and this is a novel that I wrote and rewrote and, never was published, obviously, but stays with me. So later, my fascination with bridges, like Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges, is this arc, because if you take two of them, again, you have this circle. So the bridge sort of fills in for this, the film I did, or e-book, e-novel, arc along the Watchtower, which was, again, the same characters, Phil and Pat, only this time Pat is now his brother, his elder brother, and their father has died of cancer. Phil is empty. Pat answers for everything. Money, money, sex, money. And they go across the Brooklyn Bridge to go to Phil's opening. They get fucked up. They end up in a Koreatown massage place at 4 a.m, getting life lessons, very much in the manner of Ulysses. It has to end in a brothel with, well, I don't know, there must be this other character which then goes into Omeg, this sort of evil elder gentleman, this kind of Alex Itin, this kind of, I want to say almost William S. Burroughs, but rich and a little, not a junkie, but a power-mad junkie, sex junkie, maybe. Anyway, so these circles just I'm always telling the same story with the same sort of set of characters in this kind of, almost, I guess you could say, like a comic book universe, but I don't fucking play comic books. I like to think of it more as a Joycean universe. Anyway, so that's that. I will now remember that this also is just a no pass around, do not enter sign.